Hello everyone. So if you are looking for a pickup truck that is not too big but easy to manage every day for daily uses, it's also rugged, it's capable and practical, then this Nissan Frontier could be the pickup truck for you. So the particular trim that I am reviewing is the Nissan Frontier Hardbody. So this is more of a heritage edition, as you can call it, because it's got bits that are slightly different than the standard Frontier or the Pro 4X, which is currently available in the market. So let me begin with the front, because there are some blacked out bits like this chunky bumper here makes it look much more rugged and off-road friendly, and then Frontier badging on the top also, and this grill in the middle with the Nissan badging. The grill is in the normal plastic. At the bottom again, more normal plastic bumper, and I get it because it's much to do with the fact that it's off-road capable. So if you damage bits out here, it's just much more easier to replace. At the bottom there are towing hooks given on either side, and also an aluminum skid plate to protect the underside of the car when you're doing any off-roading bits. And there are these split lights here. So the top bit is the halogen headlight cluster, completely halogen. The turn signals are on the edge at the bottom on the side, and the bottom of that there are DRLs, again halogen DRLs, and next to that are the fog lamps given too. There are also decals provided on this, trying to give you mix of sort of retro modern looks on this Frontier. And underneath this sits a 3.8 liter V6 engine that is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. So this Nissan Frontier Hardbody comes with 4-wheel drive system, and it's also selectable one. So by default it's a rear wheel drive, and on the front there are like standard suspensions with the torsion bar given in the front, whereas in the back there is leaf spring suspension given in the rear, which is kind of pretty standard for the pickup trucks. And on this there are these 17-inch aluminum alloy heritage edition wheels with the all-terrain tires provided on it. And at the bottom, if you see, there is this metal bar which is sort of acting like a rugged sort of bar, so that it protects your underbody from all the off-roading bits that hit on the underside. There are these 4x4 decals also given on the sides. When you come to these side mirrors, these are the glossy black side mirror. They are non-power foldable but power adjustable. They also have the blind spot warning on the inside. And if you see in the front, there is this bit of a curve that slopes down, much like the for F-150 sort of design, that would remind you, not that aggressive, but yes, there is that sort of curve given here. And the doors are keyless entry doors, the front ones only, and they are also in the glossy black color, front and the back ones too. And there's also this sport bar, or you can even call it a roll bar, so that is provided again to give much more stability and sturdiness to the bed in the back, with the Frontier cutout given on this metal plate. And this is a 5 feet long bed given on this Frontier Hardbody. So there is no sunroof provided on this Frontier Hardbody. And if you see this pillar, which is in black color, it's not actually a colored one, but again a decal given on this, whereas in the back there is normal plastic. And there are lots of places where you would find the Frontier badging, the one where you saw in the front on the hood, and even on the side here the Frontier cutout given, and even on the mud flaps there is a Frontier badging provided. Now in the rear, full set of LED tail lights are provided, turn signals, reversing lights, brake lights, everything is LED. And then more decals in the back too, and then this Nissan cutout given on that too. I hope these decals last on the trunk door. And there's also the Frontier badging indented in the back, and at the bottom glossy bits again on the edges of the bumper, so that is in black color, and then normal plastic given in the middle, so that it's because much more easier to use, because if you're going to climb on the inside, then yeah, it's just going to get a lot of scratches and stuff, so the glossy bit doesn't make sense. And then there is also an exhaust pipe given on the right side underside. It's got something called as exhaust finisher, which is like a black color tip, but if you look down, then yeah, it just doesn't feel right, because it's like half black and then half normal pipe. Yeah, when you bend down and look, it looks a little yeah, different. And there's also a spare wheel provided underneath the floor at the bottom, and there is also a trailering hook provided along with the sockets to connect the different brake lines and also the power supply to the trailer. In order to open the trunk door, there is this lever, pull it, and there is a soft opening, so just doesn't drop suddenly. That's one good thing. And then there are these sort of cutouts provided. I'm guessing that's for the cup holders in the backs in case you sort of have a party here. Then there are places to put, you know, your cups and stuff. And in the back, as I said, this is a 5-foot long bed given with the material, special material, grippy one given. It's quite sharp, so yeah, just make sure you don't end up with bare feet on the inside. There is also a plug point given in the back, which is a 400-watt maximum plug point, and that can be switched on from the inside in the cabin. There is a button provided for that too. And let me just test this. If this is, yeah, this is quite sturdy. And once you go in the back, it's quite a big bed here, and it's quite even. Also, there are just a couple of arches on either side. That's about it. There are also tying points given. There is also a trunk light and also cargo lights given in the bed also for extra bit of visibility in the dark, and those cargo lights can be switched on again from the inside. There's also one more window here in the back that can be opened, and that's a manual one, not an electronic one. So you just unclip it and then slide it open and again slide it to close it. So that's maybe something if you want to take it from here, or if you want some fresh air for the rear passengers, then they can open this rear window. Now in terms of the visibility, it's actually decent because there are some thick headrest on either side that hinder the visibility, so the real visibility is just from middle of the glass. So yeah, that's the only visibility that you will get, but it's still much more vertical, so there is quite a lot of, you know, visibility that you will get from the rear view glass. But otherwise, because this is a leaf spring in the back, so the bed is quite sturdy. So the new Nissan Frontier Hardbody has a very functional and usable and rugged interior space, and the layout itself is very similar to many other Nissans. So if you've driven previously some other Nissans, then yeah, this might come in very easy to understand, but otherwise it's still very easy. So let me begin with the material quality. There is slightly softer material on this dashboard face, the horizontal face. In the back, it's all plastic, even on the driver's display plastic. The top bit of the door cards are plastic. On the sides, it's just soft touch material where you're going to be resting hands. That's again soft touch material. Around the switches, again plastic. Some of the places where the plastic quality can be improved, yeah, these are the ones, like around the switches and stuff. And then this dial given to adjust the side mirror, yeah, that's also going to be a little bit more quality. Then on the side face, there is this plastic trim that resembles like the carbon fiber, but it's just like a plastic trim covered on with the carbon fiber decal. At the bottom, again plastic. Even around the cup holders, it's all plastic. There are going to be resting hands, that's soft touch. So yeah, the material quality is mixed bag that way. Even on the side face here, it's plastic, but it's to do with the fact that this is more of an off-roader, so you know, it's used for rugged operations. So yeah, the wear and tear and abuse and all that is taken care of if provided with these sort of materials. So yeah, that's the material quality on the inside. And there are also grab handles given on the passenger side and even in the back for the rear passengers, and even out here near the center tunnel there are these couple of handles provided. Now when you come to the driver's display, so there is a 7-inch TFT screen provided in the middle, and on either side there are dials provided. On the right side, the speedometer. On the left side, there is the RPM counter, and in the middle there is quite a lot of information that you see, and also that you can change using the buttons given on the steering wheel. It's very easy, just scrolling through different menu options. So the standard first one is the speed. Well, depends on what option you keep on your screen, that will be standard. Then the digital speed, then the off-road gauges, so pitch and the roll gauges, and also the 4x4 or 4x2, whatever mode you are engaged in, so that will show you that. Then the auxiliary gauges 1 and 2. Then there is the driving data, what fuel economy and total distance, then the instantaneous fuel economy, then the media option, then the driving aids, then the tire pressure, then the auto stop start, so how much fuel you saved, how much time you've been using that stop start, then the detailed settings, driver meter, vehicle settings, so rear door and everything, alerts, maintenance unit, language, factory reset, and then we come out into the main menu. So that's about it. That's how you operate this driver's display on this Frontier. Now when you come to the steering wheel, so the steering wheel is sort of leather covered, it feels like that. There's also the stitching on it, it's definitely leather covered, and the middle bit is just normal plastic with the Nissan badging, and on either side there are buttons provided, and the steering wheel is manually adjustable, which is only the tilting operation, not the telescopic, and there are buttons, as I mentioned, provided on either side. So on the right side there is button provided for the adaptive cruise control, it comes with the adaptive cruise control, and on the left side there are buttons provided for the driver's information display to change that, and also the media controls. But the steering wheel itself is pretty big and chunky, so yeah, in order to operate, yeah, you need to have like, yeah, quite a lot of, yeah, do that. And plus the rotation on this is nearly 1.75, so 1 full rotation and another quarter of it, so yeah, nearly 1.5. so especially when you're off-roading, yes, this thing is what it's calibrated to, those sort of standards. Now when you come to the air conditioning, so straightforward button operated air conditioning system given on this Frontier. So you get dual zone air conditioning system on this one, and straight on and off button, then the dials given on either side to change the temperature, and in the middle to sync the air conditioning, and there is also the fan speed buttons, and also the mode and the fresh air or the recirculation of air. So yes, that's about it. And at the bottom of the air conditioning controls you would find buttons on either side, so those are not like the buttons but the switches. So those switches are for the heated seats, so the driver and the passenger side seat is the heated seats, so switch it into high or low, or on the other side high or low. So yeah, that's about it. And also the steering wheel is also the heated steering wheel, and the button for that is provided next to that. Now when you come to the infotainment screen, so this is an 8-inch infotainment system provided on this Frontier, and it's also got the dials at the bottom for volume and also to select the different menu option, and more buttons for quick access to the infotainment screen. So in terms of the operations, it's decently quick, but yeah, in terms of the appearance, it's not the finest of the screens that you will look at, because there is a bit of graininess sometimes to the menu options, and also it feels a little dated in some sense, because the quality of the screen can be improved for sure. And once we scroll through the different options, so there is a customized home menu, so you can arrange all the icons on the main screen and also add more options, then the clock, then the Android Auto, which is the source. So inside, if you go into the source option, so in terms of the connectivity, you can connect to this infotainment system using Sirius XM complimentary package provided. Then there is Bluetooth, USB, and there is wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Then the next option is AM, FM, Bluetooth. That's about it. At the bottom, phone option, but that phone option also changes if you're connected to the Android Auto. Then Android Auto option is shown there. Then the audio option, again there you will see all your sources, Bluetooth connections, info, the system information, then the detailed settings, connections, phone sound, volume, clock, all of that. Then we go to the next option, camera, others, and apps. So yes, that's about it. That's how you operate this infotainment screen. And as I said, there are buttons given at the bottom for audio, home, then the phone, the track changer, camera, so in case you have to adjust the predictive coastlines and stuff, display settings, then the brightness, you can leave it in auto, or the back button. So yes, that's about it. That's how you just simply get in and start using this infotainment screen. Now in terms of the charging, so for the front passengers there are two USB ports, which is one type C and one normal, along with a 12-volt power socket given next to the air conditioning control on the passenger side, whereas for the rear passengers there is a plug point along with two USB ports, which is one type C and one normal. Now on this Frontier there is no sunroof provided, and these sun visors are extendable ones because, but obviously this door is quite big, so yeah, you need to cover quite a lot of area here once you move them on the sides. And in terms of the storage on this Frontier, so in the door cards you can put about 1 liter to 1.5. 1.5 might be a struggle, but 1 liter you can easily fit. Some more storage on the side. Then there is this storage underneath the air conditioning controls to put your phones and wallets. Then there are these two flexible cup holders. Then there is also this tray provided in the back, again to put your phones, wallets or keys. And then there is this center storage also, in which you can easily put like 4 half a liter worth of bottle. Then there is this glove box, decently big, lined with plastic on the inside. Even on the passenger side, the same sort of capacity. And in the rear door cards, you can put 1 liter water bottle on either side. And in the center armrest, there are two flexible cup holders. But even the cup holders that are provided in the front are a bit on the shallow side. So if you have something really tall, then yeah, it might spill if you're off-roading or taking some pretty sharp turns. So yeah, just make sure to secure your drinks. Now when it comes to these seats, so you get the black color fabric seats on this Frontier, and I'm glad with the choice of that because A, they are super comfortable, they don't get hot or cold depending on the weather, plus they offer a lot of comfort. I'm a huge fan of fabric seats because compared to the leather seats, I know they are quite difficult to maintain, but these are the black color seats, so it's still quite easier. So they have this dual color texture also in the backrest. So there's a like a darker sort of blackish color and like the dark gray color at the bottom. And then these seats are very broad, so you can sit in them very easily. It's like your chair in the house, so you just sit on it and it's very comfortable. Good amount of support on the sides and the bottom. There's decent amount of support under my thigh, and there are also these two fabric headrests also, but the headrests are slightly on the harder side compared to the seats. And these seats are also the heated seats, as I mentioned. And in terms of the adjustability, so the driver's side seat is 4-way electronically adjustable and 2-way manual lumbar adjustment, whereas the passenger side seat is just 4-way manually adjustable. Now on this Frontier, there is also a dedicated tow mode. So once you put the car into the tow mode, then it knows specifically that you're towing something, and then accordingly it would adjust. And as I said, there are more buttons for the cargo lamp, and also the button provided to switch on the 400 watt plug point, the maximum 400 watt. And there's also a dial given here, which is actually a very convenient place to put the dial to shift from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive and also to 4-low. So this Frontier comes with 2-speed transfer case, so which is why you can easily switch from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive to 4-low also. And the operation is dead straight, so yeah, you don't have to learn anything else to do that. And also beeps to tell you that you moved from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive or also to 4-low. And also if you keep the driver's display with the off-road gauges, then even on that you can see that you've shifted to the 4-high or the 4-low. There's also a sunglass holder provided. There's also one more storage provided on top of the dashboard. Now in terms of the gear shifter, so it's dead easy. You just put it into drive or flick it on the left side and put it into the manual mode, but you'll have to keep flicking through different gears. But this is if you are going to go off-roading and you need manual control, then it's for that to select those gears. But otherwise on a daily basis, just leave it into D, because this car comes with 9-speed automatic transmission, so you have to cycle through 9 gears, but just let the car figure out everything for you. Now in the rear, things are slightly cramped. First, the seat in the front is in my driving position, and after that I get about 3 fingers worth of knee room. The headroom is also quite decent, although someone about 6 feet will start brushing their heads against the ceiling. Plus these seats are quite upright, and also I sit quite low down, and as a result you can make out the angle that my knees are making, and there's not much support underneath my thigh. And also the seat setup out here is the bench type of setup in the back, and as a result of this, like, I'm sitting in a very slightly uncomfortable position is what, yes, it is. And there's not much room to slide the legs also under the seat, but these seats are again the fabric seats, so they are comfortable and they are broad also. And there's also this middle seat and not much tunnel here. There is just a very gradual slope there, but nothing to be bothered. So someone sitting in the middle also is going to be pretty comfortable. So yes, 3 adults can get into the back, although the backrest here is slightly harder because of the fact that there is a handrest and there are 2 flexible cup holders, but there's not much space around the handrest to rest your hands because it's very slim on either side. And then there are 2 headrests also provided, so just goes to show that maybe it's just for 2 people in the back. But there's one more trick in the back. So if you want something of a covered storage on this Frontier, then the backrest is foldable, both of them in fact. So you can fold down this, but there's also one more trick. So you can even fold up these seats like this and the other one also, and then you have this long passage here where you can store your plants or furniture or anything wooden stuff. So that's also been provided and it's very easy to do. Just flick it and just raise the bottom seats up. So yeah, then this thing is more usable. I find it, I don't know. Now in terms of door card quality, it's completely plastic in the back where you're going to be resting hands. That's just soft touch material. Around these switches again plastic. At the bottom it's plastic, and in the door cards, as I said, you can put about 1 liter worth of bottle. And on the passenger side seat in the front, there is the pocket storage provided, which is pretty deep in that sense, and there are these 2 cup holders also in the center armrest, and the grab handles provided in the back too. But yes, overall the space in the back is a bit cramped for the rear passengers, and the only thing is that because these seats are foldable, you can at least use this as a storage in the back too. But nonetheless, yeah, if you still have passengers, they can be seated into the rear because the seats are going to be comfortable, although not sure about the longer journeys. So this Nissan Frontier Hardbody comes with a 3.8 liter V6 engine that produces 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque, and this engine is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission that sends the power to all the 4 wheels via a 4-wheel drive system. And as I mentioned, there is also an electronic transfer case, 2-speed transfer case provided on this thing, along with the front stabilization bar, and also there is a solid axle given in the rear too. Now in terms of first the engine and the gearbox, well, the engine is decent, it's plenty for everyday use, although the gear shifts, yeah, they can be a little smoother because I've found the gear shifts to be slightly jerky. If it's tending to go from 3rd, 4th and upwards, it tends to be slightly on the jerky side, and also when it's trying to shift down, again that's also slightly, yeah, the same sort of effect. But overall, yes, there is plenty of power when you try to put the foot down. Yes, it does pack some power, so that's not going to be an issue. In terms of the 4-wheel drive system, now there are plenty of roads in Toronto where you can test the off-road capabilities of this car that I'm currently also trying to test, as you can make out. So yeah, it tackles the bumps and everything very well, and the 4-wheel drive system, yes, it's gonna be responsive because it's got all the right things for it to be able to become a proper off-roader. Maybe not a full like very hard off-roading stuff, but yes, good enough of off-roading stuff that it can do, and coupled with these all-terrain tires. And the thing is that the suspensions are something that it's really well done on this. Now they are on the harder side, I will admit that, especially because there is a leaf spring set up in the back, and because there's no load in the back, so the bed keeps sort of flopping around, but it's still taken care of because I can feel the chassis itself is quite sturdy enough. It's absorbing those floppiness from the chassis, so it's being stable at the same time. And because there are all-terrain tires on this, so that's not really happening that much in terms of the ride quality. But in terms of the capabilities, yes, this car, it is giving that to it, the whole setup of the suspensions and the tires. And because the seats are fabric seats, so on the inside you're quite comfortable. It's like sitting on the chair, as I said, and then you're just cruising along. So yeah, that way it is pretty good. Now in terms of the steering, so the steering, first of all, this thing has a very large turning radius, but the steering itself is quite responsive, but it's got a little bit of dead zones initially, and then it sort of starts, you know, turning. And as I said, there are like 1.5 rotations on either side, so in order to go from complete left to right, then you have to turn like 3 times. So yeah, that's the thing to keep in mind. But yes, the steering does tend to have some sort of softness and also sometimes the vagueness to it. I don't know if it's the tires, because of which that whole feedback is not the sort of thing that I was expecting. But yeah, or maybe also to do with the fact that these are like huge pickup trucks, so yeah, they don't tend to have the sharpest of the responses, and yeah, that's what it is. But in terms of the roll, now the front stabilization bar is making sure that there is not much of a roll on this thing. It remains very balanced, and it is very important if you're going to be off-roading this thing. So yeah, in sort of that response, it's very good. In terms of the noise and the vibration, so there is just a little bit of noise, wind whooshing from around these windows, and there's also the tire noise. Again, that's to do with the fact that because this thing has the all-terrain tire, so maybe because of that there is the tire noise. But otherwise it's a very surprisingly quiet cabin on the inside, and vibrations, there are none actually right now, and yeah, so far so good. And in terms of the braking, so there are 4 disc brakes provided on this Frontier, and the performance from that is decent. It's sharp, the response, and the brake pedal is also quite progressive. Now in terms of the fuel efficiency, so from this 3.8 liter V6, I've managed to get around 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers on highway, and between 13.5 to 14 liters per 100 kilometers, so it averages out to around 12.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So yeah, that's what's the realistic figure that you should expect from this. And yeah, this is all right for this mid-size pickup truck. Now in terms of the safety system, so this thing comes with 8 airbags, 2 for the front driver and the passenger. There are also 2 side airbags given for the driver and the passenger. There are also 2 curtain airbags provided in the frames, and there are also knee airbags given for the driver and the passenger also. Then there are child isofix points for the rear seats. Then there is a single camera reversing system. The output from that honestly really has to be improved, because yeah, it's grainy and it's dark, and yeah, it's not the smoothest. It can improve in that department. Then there's also the hill start assist, and there is also the blind spot warning. There is adaptive cruise control. There's front pedestrian warning and front collision warning. There's a camera mounted in the front, uses that. Then there is also the lane departure warning. So a lot of safety systems are provided on this. There's also ABS, tire pressure monitoring system. Then the vehicle dynamics, so it balances and does all that clever stuff, so to make sure that yeah, there's not much of a roll on the inside. There's brake assist, electronic brake distribution and all. Now in terms of the pricing, so the variant that I'm testing, which is this one, the Frontier Hardbody, comes in at $49,998, and you have to add another $2,000, a little over that, for the freight and all of that. So it comes in at around $52,000. Now, to be strictly speaking, the truck is meant for people who are going to be using it for more industrial purposes, like for farming, or if you're going to take a lot of load around, then it's for that. Because for the rear passengers, I don't see the point. There is not much room for the rear passengers, so definitely not for that. Front, yes, it's pretty comfortable with the overall seating arrangement and all the tech. So it feels also advanced in that department. And if you are someone that likes the styling, which is sort of this in the combination of black and red, then yes, this is for you. Or even if you want a capable 4x4, then again this thing is for you. But again, as I said, it's strictly, I wouldn't say strictly, but it's more to do with the fact that this is something of a very purposeful vehicle. So if you are going to be lurking around a lot of luggage and stuff and also towing stuff, then this car is for you, because it's got the 3.8 liter V6, so it's gonna be powerful also to tow all that stuff and also carry passengers on the inside. But yes, the material quality and all that, as I said, it's because it's to give you a longer life for the truck itself, so it's for that. But yes, bits here and there can be improved, and also some of the tech provided can be improved. These screens also can be improved. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, then you can click here, and if you want to watch more videos, then click here. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care and drive safe.